Welcome to the Land Your Bet Sports Betting Show. Looking at the NBA on Saturday here, coming off a sizzling hot Friday. Up 5 units on the night, went a little 6-1. We'll run through the record here in a minute. I've got 3 best bets already on the card, but a ton of injuries to sift through. So we're going to look at what I've got for now and then get back into this 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the live show. So if that all sounds good, give that video a like. Let's get right into it. Like I said, I got 3 bets already on the card, but we do need to make sure that we're going through everything because we got plenty of action, especially later tonight on the East Coast. So I'm going to be going through the live show, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. You guys jump in there, YouTube or on Twitter, bring your bets and get in the comments, and we'll go over all that stuff together. I'll share my screen similar to how we do here on these pre-recorded videos, but it'll be a little bit more interactive, and we'll get to look at the stuff you want to look at. But let's look at how we did here on Friday because I'm loving to be able to say 6-1 plus 5.3 units. Goga, the cash cow, I mean, he got 10. It was a little bit lucky this time on a squeaker, but especially because the Magic ended up getting blown out finally without Franz and Paolo. They'd been doing so well, but they ended up losing last night. Goga still gets our boards. Bridges goes over with 17 points. Glad we got that in at 15.5. That was somewhat of a broken line, so only the folks in the VIP got that one as soon as it came up. Miles Turner, that was clean. We got that on the live show. We got that before. Going to keep going back to it, try to keep that a little bit on the down low so that we don't get that Miles Turner blocks number blown up. It's plus 130 in this last game. We'll see what it is the next time the Pacers and the Celtics match up. We'll be attacking it. Jokic on the triple-double. Love the assist number that we got there. That got us plus 188 on the TD. Michael Porter, over 17.5. Weird rotations for him. He's kind of scaring me a little bit, the way he's not getting he didn't play at all in like the third quarter for whatever reason. Probably did something wrong on defense that I just didn't see in the game. Have to go back and look at it, but he's still a great look. Whenever Aaron Gordon is out, they don't seem to price his lines appropriately, so we'll keep going back to it. A nice little parlay that came through for us with Beal to get 3+ dimes and Tyus Jones to go under 6.5. He now is not getting nearly as many as assists, even with Devin Booker out, as he was earlier. Seems like KD and Beal are going to be the guys continuing to dime up. So we got a little bit lucky though. He had 6 in the third quarter and then didn't get any in the fourth. We'll see how we play that moving forward, but really happy to get the plus money on that. And Beal took like 20 shots, did not get 21 points. He didn't even get 15 points, I don't think, ended with like 13 points on 20 shots. That's absurd for the man. So we'll take that L in stride. I mean, if he makes like a few more shots, he still doesn't even have to shoot 40% from the field, and we still would have gotten there with the amount of looks he put up. But at any rate, we are now 44.6 units up on the season, like it says there, 196 and 150. So we're losing 150 times this year, winning nearly 200 and up 44.6 units. So it is time for a quick little sale. If you do want to get into the VIP, use code UP44. That'll get you 44% off your first month. I'm going to put 5 total codes out there for that one. So you do want to jump in there and get that. And then we'll see you at the live show, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. But let's get into the 3 plays that I've already got on the card here for Saturday. As always, going to be using Props Madness to show you everything that I'm looking at here for these 3 picks. If you do want to get a subscription here for Props Madness, I highly recommend it. Anybody who asks me about what they should use for NBA research or WNBA when we get to the ladies this summer, I always say Props Madness. This is my top partner for the NBA. So if you do want to get in on the action, use code LYB. As always with everything, LYB is the code. That'll get you 25% off your first month. So let's look at what I'm looking at here for Saturday so far. Just 3 plays, but like I said, we'll get back into it. 4:30 p.m. Eastern on the live show. In this first game here for the Thunder and Hornets, by the way, moving right past the Heat and the Hawks, as you can see here, just never going to touch the Heat, and this is not worth getting out to you guys with an hour to go. So looking right ahead at the 6 p.m. Eastern start for the Thunder and the Hornets. So much questionable. So much. I mean, let's just start with the injury news. If you look at OKC and Charlotte, we're waiting to see what's up with LaMelo, Brandon Miller, and Mark Williams. Still don't have news on that. Maybe it'll come down during this video, but it's not enough before I get this out to you. So it'll be revisited on the live show. But for the Thunder here, they're coming off the back-to-back. I mean, they're coming off the back-to-back. They are coming in a situation where they could really use a little bit of rest for their guys. They're already sitting a ton of guys. If you look at the official NBA injury report for this team, they're looking at a bunch of their backups like Alex Caruso, Kayson Wallace. A lot of these guys who are sort of the others are going to be out. Lou Dort is also out. So Dort, Caruso, and Kayson Wallace, 3 guys that are getting anywhere from like 20 to 35 minutes at times for Lou Dort in the important games. So that means we've got to look at who's the next guys up, and it's really Isaiah Joe and Aaron Wiggins. Both those guys are going to be in the starting lineup, I would imagine, alongside Hartenstein, J-Dub, and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, because they're missing the sort of wing defense from Aaron Wiggins, some of the shooting, and Isaiah Joe will bring that to the starting lineup, and he's played in the starting lineup a couple times already. So that's who I'm attacking here, is Isaiah Joe. And there's a couple of simple reasons. I think they're going to be looking to give a little bit of a break to SGA and J-Dub as much as they can. And by that, I mean SGA and J-Dub will probably have their minutes split a little bit where they're sort of stymied, right? That'll be SGA on the court, then it'll be J-Dub on the court. Don't need them on there at the same time in this game. For Isaiah Joe, I think that means he's always going to be out there as the secondary shooter and ball handler, a little bit better. And Aaron Wiggins, I don't want to trash his ball handling or his playmaking, very, very good. But Isaiah Joe's a proven scorer, and I think they're going to keep him out there. So now we're just looking at what happens when he plays a certain amount of minutes. And that's one of the best features here that we always talk about on Props Madness, is going to be using these filters to get this situation to what we think it's going to be tonight. So what I mean by that is I can go to advanced filters and I can hit minutes right here, and I can put those and say, I think Isaiah Joe's going to play at least 25 minutes tonight, if not 30 minutes tonight, right? So if I think that, what's happened in the games this season where he's played at least, let's start with 20 minutes. If he's played 20 minutes this season, he's done it 16 times, and he's gone over in 10 of them, averaging 10.8 points per game. Now, I got Isaiah Joe at 9.5 points, but you can still get him 10.5, and I still think that's a good... Oh, no, I got him 10.5. The other bet that I'll show you, I got at 9.5. Isaiah Joe, I did get at 10.5. I got minus 105 on DraftKings, and I still think this is good up to about 11.5. So if you're seeing this and Isaiah Joe's only available for 11.5 points, I still think that's a really, really good look, and that's my first bet here for Saturday. Next up, we're looking at the Knicks and the Wizards. That'll be coming on at 7 p.m. Eastern. And it's a similar situation here where the Knicks are going to be on the back-to-back. This is their third game in 4 nights. If you are not using #basketball to make sure you know who's playing and when, I highly recommend it. This is linked in the description of the video so that you have this tool available to you. I can see who played on Friday by just clicking Friday and who plays Saturday. So these are the teams that are on the second leg of a back-to-back tonight, right? So the Knicks are going to be that. The Wizards, rather, are not. But I can also see who plays tomorrow. And Washington doesn't play tomorrow either. So this is going to be their only game of the weekend for Washington. But we know, if we look at this official NBA injury report once again, that Jordan Poole is questionable. Kuzma's already out. And Jalen Brunson for the Knicks is questionable. Once again, the Knicks, if you look at their schedule over the course of this week, right here, they've played a couple of really tough games. The Knicks here played the Spurs on Wednesday, and then they play Friday against the Magic, won that game by 13 last night, and then now Washington. So 3 games in 4 nights and 2 pretty tough games, even though they won both of them. 2 pretty tough matchups and some beating, some sort of slobber knocker matchups, if to use an NFL term. So with that in mind, Jalen Brunson being questionable makes sense. We know Tibbs loves to play his guys as many minutes as he can, no matter what. But I think this is finally a situation with Jalen Brunson getting this late questionable tag here on Saturday that it makes sense that he might not play. In which case, who do we think is going to play? Miles McBride kind of comes right into the equation as the starting PG at that point. You got to have at least one guy that you trust to be the ball handler. And I think Brunson's still probably going to play. It's Brunson, and it doesn't seem to be much of an injury as much as they just want to give him some time off. So if he does play, which I think he'll probably will, still see him sitting a lot more than he normally would, giving those minutes to Miles McBride. So how many minutes do we think Miles is going to get? Let's say he's going to get at least 25. On the season, Miles is at about 20 to 25. So let's just put him at 25 minutes, right? And see what he's done this year. In those games, he's averaging about 12 points per game. He's gotten 11 in 10 of those games. If you get him for 10 plus, you can still get that at like minus 140 for him to get 10 plus points on certain sites. That's going to be an even nicer hit rate. As we see here, he's gone over in 13 of the 18 where he's played at least 25 minutes. And this minutes tab is going to be something you should be using a ton when you're using Props Madness, because you should be projecting how many minutes you think a guy is going to play and then seeing what he does when he normally plays that amount of minutes. That's at least a really good starting point for finding a bet. So with that in mind, we look at this number. We like it a lot. I like it enough to take it. I got it 9.5, but I also hit Miles to get 15 plus points. And 15 plus was plus 350 on FanDuel, and it's still going to be around that right now for Miles. He's only done that 5 times this season where he's gotten 15 plus points. But if Brunson doesn't play, plus 350 is a steal against a Wizards team that is giving up whatever you want. I mean, we got to look at the play type analysis, at least to show you how bad Washington is everywhere. But this is 2 of the other really valuable aspects of Props Madness to make sure that you're using it to its fullest. You scroll down from just the season charts right here. And if you scroll down to season shot chart, you can see where Miles is shooting from predominantly. He's scoring 13% of his points from this corner, 3% from that one. 49% of his points, half of them, are coming from above the break 3-point shots, right? If you look at where Washington is weakest, it's everywhere. 26th, limiting above the break points, above the break 3 points. corner threes, mid-range shots. Miles can step in, takes 13% of his points from the mid-range here as well. So he's going to have what he wants. And he's going to probably be the primary ball handler, especially when Jalen Brunson's off the court. Regardless, getting out into transition, getting to the free throw line, spotting up, all this stuff is going to be available against the Wizards, who are a terrible, terrible defense. Specifically, they are the 28th ranked defense in the league. So I think this is a great look. Even if Jalen Brunson plays, I still think this should be a blowout and that we should see more Miles McBride minutes as a result. And if Brunson doesn't play, then this is a steal. So those are 3 bets that I do have in. I'll at least give you one more lean that we will be revisiting on the live show. 4:30 p.m. Eastern today. We do this every weekday, 5:30 p.m. Eastern, but today rolling 4:30, so we get ahead of these games that are starting a little bit earlier, including that Thunder and Hornets game. So just quick reminder there if you do want to jump in, but finishing up here with at least the lean that, once again, I'll revisit here on the show at 4:30 is going to be Yabusele, who we don't have any props up for. But what I'm looking at here is the injury report, which has now added Andre Drummond to it for the 76ers. So he's now questionable, was a late ad. Whenever you see a late ad on the injury report, it makes me really lean towards they're not going to play. So I'm confident that there's going to be some minutes for Yabu against the Jazz, who I'm not going to say the 76ers should beat them or shouldn't beat them. They're not a very good team right now. We don't know if Joel Embiid is not playing. But if Joel's not playing and we have Drummond listed questionable here, more with an illness, but a left toe sprain that he's nursing as well, seems like something that they're just trying to give him rest on a Saturday again, then yeah, I mean, they're going to be pretty thin up front. Yabusele is going to be the look. All right, we will be back 4:30 p.m. Eastern, so hope to see y'all there on the live show. Last reminder, if you do want to jump in the VIP, we're up 44.6 units, looking to get over that 100U mark. Fingers crossed, but we've got a process, so it's not even anything to do with too much luck. Over the course of the season, feeling good about getting to 100U. So up 44, we'll get you 44% off your first month in the VIP if you're interested. Hope to see y'all on the live show at 4:30. Until I do, happy betting.